Hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest webcast in Caring.com's Digital Marketing Academy. Our session today is focused on helping your agency maximize its Facebook page and extend the reach of your social media marketing. I'm Denise Grob, a marketing director here at Caring.com, and I'm joined by a few experts at Core Cubed Marketing Agency, who I'll introduce in more depth in a moment. And in case you didn't see it, we are recording this session. Before we dive into the presentation, I want to cover a few housekeeping items. This is a one-way webcast where only the presenters speak. You can ask questions in the upper right of your screen at any time during the session, and we'll have a Q&A at the end as well. So we do want you to ask questions. And if we don't get to them during the session, we'll follow up with you afterward as well. And as I mentioned, this session is being recorded and we'll have the slides available afterward as well. Now, the sponsor of today's free webinar is Caring.com. For those of you who are getting to know us, and as a refresher for our partners, our organization was founded by caregivers for caregivers. Our flagship website, Caring.com, was created and launched in 2007 to equip family caregivers to make better decisions, save time and money, and feel less alone and less stressed in providing senior care to their loved ones. Today, millions of people come to our website to research and get referred to senior living communities and home care agencies. In fact, we have one of the most comprehensive senior care directories on the web, and we are the #1 source of senior care reviews online, with about 250,000 posted and thousands added every month. Back in May 2018, we were acquired by Caring Holdings, a group of investors with over 15 years of digital marketing expertise. That transaction has enabled us to continue to expand our services to family caregivers and older adults, acquire more websites, and enhance our competitive position in the marketplace. Among the Core Cubed expert presenters today is Amy Sully, Core Cube's co-managing director. She acts as a strategic marketing partner to Core Cube's clients, helping them achieve results in an increasingly dynamic marketplace. As you can see here, she has a wide range of marketing and communication skills that enable Core Cube to support their clients very well. Amy also serves annually as a judge for the National Mature Media Awards, the nation's largest awards program recognizing the best marketing, communications, educational materials, and programs for adults age 50 and older. Over the years, Amy herself has earned accolades and awards, including being the recipient of a Public Relations Society of America Award for Marketing Healthcare Services and a Publicity Club of Chicago Award for Consumer Marketing Campaigns. She resides in the Chicago area with her husband and children, and we're excited to hear her expertise shared here as well. Joining Amy from Core Cubed is Marissa Snook. She's also a managing director and administers their organization's MOST program, which has tools for marketing, operations, and sales. Marissa has been working in public relations and marketing for over 15 years, with a focus on in-home care marketing since 2005. She too is an award-winning marketer and an expert at juggling multiple tasks simultaneously and thinking strategically. With her background in theater and directing for the stage, Marissa excels at getting into the mindset of a particular target audience and understanding the best ways to reach them. Now, the third Core Cube expert who will be sharing her insights is Hilary Hull. She's an SEO specialist. Her expertise in search engine and social media marketing, along with pay-per-click campaigns, yields greater results for Core Cube's clients. Hilary holds a Bachelor of Arts in Marketing from Capital University. She has also achieved professional accreditations with Google through Google Analytics and AdWords certifications. And fun fact, in her spare time, she's a wedding photographer in the Savannah, Georgia area and enjoys spending time at the park with her husband and 2 golden retrievers. Oh, excuse me, let me get this to move forward. There, oh, sorry about that. Oh, so sorry. Let's get us back to the beginning over here. There we go. Sorry about that. Here's a high-level overview of what the CoreCube experts will share with you today. They'll start with an overview of Facebook as a marketing channel and the basics of Facebook pages. They'll also discuss the Facebook reviews feature and how to promote your reviews from sites like Caring on Facebook too. In fact, they're going to share some excellent information about content marketing on Facebook, and we'll of course take time for Q&A, and stick around, there's a special offer at the end for webinar attendees. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hand off remote control to Marissa and get you on the first slide. All right, Marissa, are you able to take it away from here?
Yeah, let me see if I can move back and forth just to make sure.
Perfect.
Yep. All right. Thank you, everyone, again for attending today. I trust that even if you have already set up your Facebook page, know a little bit about Facebook, that you're still going to learn some new tips and insight today. We will not be covering how to advertise on Facebook in this presentation, so I wanted to let you know that from the get-go. But if that is a topic that you would love to be covered in a future webinar, please let Denise know. So if you've been staring at this graphic while I've been talking, you might have recognized that your target audience is on Facebook. The adult children who are the decision makers for care, they're on Facebook. 79% of 39 to 40-year-olds and 68% of 50 to 64-year-olds. Older Americans, yep, they're using Facebook as well, 46% of them. And in fact, 7 out of 10 US adults are using Facebook. 2/3 of them doing it at least once a day. Now, some of you may be familiar with Home Care Pulse. If you haven't seen their annual home care benchmarking study, it is wonderful. I encourage you to check it out. But in that report, you will see that year after year, digital marketing dominates for reaching consumers with your brand. And right now, of course, in today's environment with COVID-19 causing limited contact with any referral sources, I would argue digital marketing has probably become a cornerstone of marketing efforts for senior care agencies. SEO, which is optimizing your website to be more easily seen when people do a search on Google or other search engines, and PPC, which is those Google ads where you pay per click to your website, those are going to be your top 2 digital marketing sources to reach new customers, but Facebook comes right on their heels as a wonderful way to introduce your brand to consumers and new caregivers. And this typically also means dipping your toes into Facebook advertising so you can reach more people easily. But before you even think about investing in Facebook advertising, you're going to want to make sure that your Facebook page for your business is representing your business well. And we're going to talk about more about that in just a minute. There we go. I often hear from clients this complaint. You know what, Facebook doesn't ever get me new business. Why should I bother with it? I hate social media. It is true, I will tell you that you don't often hear that someone became a customer directly because of Facebook. They don't say, yeah, I signed up with you because of your Facebook page. But indirectly, Facebook is often a part of that customer's journey towards why they chose your agency. It helps establish a relationship with your audience. So when people are doing a Google search, they're looking for something very specific. It's very action-based. You know, they're typing in, for example, home care Chicago, because they're looking for home care in Chicago. But when somebody is using Facebook, they're not necessarily there to take just one specific action. They're being informed, they're helped, connecting with others, sometimes being entertained. There's a lot of different reasons why they're on Facebook. So some of the ways this is going to help your business is that Facebook is going to position your agency as this trusted resource and expert in your area. It's going to provide potential customers with relevant information and build brand awareness about the services that you provide. It can showcase your brand's personality and help customers get to know you, which is really important in a field where you're caring for people's loved ones. It can help you promote other like-minded businesses and community organizations, building relationships with them. And ultimately, it's going to help make you the top-of-mind agency when care is needed, because we often know people don't look for home care or think about aging care at all until there is a strong need for it. Amy, can you talk a little bit about how Facebook is like a relationship? I know you have this really lovely analogy that I think is going to help people understand how Facebook works. And I think, Amy, you have mute on, so. I'm wondering if Amy's mute is still on.
Sorry about that.
There we go.
So what I like to tell people, because I think sometimes Facebook seems a little bit daunting in terms of what do I do for my business page. And I like to make the analogy that your Facebook relationship should mirror your real life relationship with your referral sources. And so if you were out at a networking event and you were congratulating a referral source on an achievement that their company has made or that they have made personally, think about doing that same thing on your business Facebook page. If they have released a new service and it's information that they're trying to get out there and they're announcing it on their Facebook page, think about sharing that post. The same networking rules apply. Anything that you would do in person, then you want to also kind of start to translate that into how you use your Facebook page. It's about congratulating people, sharing their information, sharing your own information, and perhaps then they're sharing it with their followers, and you start to establish a reciprocal relationship.
Thank you so much. So I know you're probably wondering, how do I get started at this point? So Amy, I'm going to have you talk about some of the basics to set up your page.
Yes. So what we want to stress about setting up a Facebook business page is that it's super important to be both thorough and thoughtful when doing so. You should be thorough about filling out all of the information, hours your agency is open, what services you provide, what areas you serve, and so on. And you also want to be thoughtful about showcasing the personality, passion, and mission of your agency, really making your Facebook business page consistent with your company's brand. And again, remember, Facebook is a social platform. When we're social, we showcase our personality so that people can get to know us better. Social media is about being social. Okay, so the first thing to remember is that you want to set up a business page, which is very different than a Facebook personal page. A personal page is one that you set up for an individual, and a business page is one that you set up for a company. A good way to understand the difference is that personal pages have friends, whereas business pages have followers. If your business page has friends, then it's not set up correctly and you need to start again. Facebook helps you out by giving some template options for creating a business page. We suggest choosing the services template because your home care agency offers services, not tangible products. You'll also need to decide on a call to action, meaning how do you want people to contact you? Do you want them to call, email, or fill out a form on your website? Facebook also gives some template options for setting up how people will contact you from your business page. Again, when we talk about being thorough and thoughtful, what we recommend is that you review all of the settings for your business page and make sure that you've really put some thought into the information you fill out and the settings that you choose. We'll dive a little deeper into settings and show some examples as we go. You should also think about who from your company will manage the page. Will it be one person, several people? And what types of content will you be posting? As with any marketing effort, it makes sense to have a plan in order to achieve success. And a little later on, we'll have some examples of actual home care agency business pages to share with you. Okay, we can go to the next slide. All right, so what do we mean by making your page consistent with your brand? Your Facebook page will have what is called a profile image. This is the small circular image frame that follows your company wherever it goes on Facebook. For instance, if as your company you comment on another company's post, your profile image shows next to that comment. Because it's always shown next to anything your company does on Facebook, you want your profile image to contain your logo and your company name. Sometimes we see home care agencies who just put their logo symbol in the profile image. That's not enough for people to recognize your company. The best practice is to have both of your name and your logo in the profile image. Your profile image should also be high quality, meaning it should not be blurry. It should be crisp and professionally rendered, which means that you want to have a graphic designer create your profile image. The next image to think about on your business page is your cover image. This is the long rectangular image on your page. It does not follow you when you comment as your company. It mainly stays on your business page. We highly recommend that you match your cover image to your website hero image. And again, we'll show some examples. So your website hero image is the main image on the home page of your website. Now, we make this recommendation because your goal is to help people start to recognize your brand. When you keep a similar format for your marketing vehicles, your audience starts to recognize who you are. So be consistent. We also recommend including your tagline on your cover image, as well as any awards your agency has earned, like being a Caring.com Caring Star or a Home Care Pulse provider or employer of choice, as well as association or Better Business Bureau membership. All of this helps to establish credibility and professionalism. Finally, all of your images should be sized correctly, meaning the image should fit the space provided. Facebook has very specific dimensions for profile and cover images, and you should make sure that your images fit those dimensions. And if needed, get help from a graphic designer to size your images appropriately. Also note that Facebook occasionally changes their format a bit and changes those dimensions, so keep a regular eye on how your profile and cover images look. Okay, so this is an agency example. This is a side-by-side screenshot of Ephraim Home Care's Facebook business page on the left and their website homepage on the right. So this is a great example of mirroring your business page to your website homepage so that people start to recognize the look and feel of your brand. You can see they've used the same photo on their Facebook cover image as on their website homepage. And they've also used their tagline in both places. And the profile image includes both the logo and the company name, not just a symbol. Also notice the trust marks over the cover image on the Facebook business page. They've included the gold seal, indicating their membership in the Pennsylvania Home Care Association, a seal indicating the agency's accreditation by the Accreditation Commission for Healthcare, and a seal indicating that this agency is also a Medicare certified provider. Another item to point out on this example are the call to action buttons set up beneath the cover image. This agency has set up a contact us button, and there's also a send message button. You can customize the contact us button to generate a call to your agency, an email, or to lead the visitor to your website contact page. Marissa, did you have something else you wanted to say?
Nope, I
okay.
just wanted to make sure I went to the next slide at the right point.
Okay, I thought I heard a little noise. Okay, so here's another agency example. This is San Diego Home Caregivers. Now, even though they haven't used the exact same image on their Facebook business page as on their website homepage, they are keeping the same look and feel of the brand with a beachy image of what could be family members enjoying each other's company because the home care agency does the rest, or a client and caregiver enjoying time together. They've also included their full company name and logo in the profile image, as well as their tagline over the cover image. And again, all the images are crisp, clear, and sized appropriately for the image frames. And on the left side, if you look all the way to the left of this page, you can see the services template options they've chosen to show on their business page. So the services template has a standard choices, and you can choose to hide what you're not going to use, and you can reorder those, but it gives you a basic framework for what to include. Okay, and we can go to the next slide. Can you go to the next? Yeah, I think the next one is Home Sweet Home. There we go. Okay. Okay, so this is a Michigan agency's website homepage on the left this time, and their Facebook business page on the right. And again, they're mirroring the image and tagline, as well as including trust marks. They are a Better Business Bureau A+ rated company and a Home Care Pulse leader in excellence. So they've got some really important trust marks to put in front of consumers right away. Notice also on this page that you can see where their Facebook business rating is showing up beneath the Contact Us and Send Message buttons. This rating is based on all of their Facebook reviews. You can see that it says based on the opinion of 15 people. Also notice what services template options this agency has included on the left beneath their profile image. They have videos they've produced, and so they wanted to include that in the menu for visitors to their page. All right, now we're going to move on to filling out the About section of your Facebook business page.
And Denise, if you can control the slides, I lost internet.
Here we go.
So.
Okay, we're there. Okay. So we're going to talk about the About section of the business page, which has the most fields to fill out. On the right is an admin view. So this is what you see when you log in to fill out all of this great information about your companies. This is the back end that you see as a business page manager. In order to create a business page, you need to give Facebook your business address and phone number. You then have the option to choose whether or not the address is shown on your business page. We suggest showing your address since it helps to establish your presence in the community. Otherwise, it might look like you don't want people to know where you are, and that's not a good thing. Also, including the date your business was started can help show how established your business is, so we suggest including that. And if yours is a new agency, also include your start date. Many business owners in your community are eager to welcome a new business and network with you to help you succeed. You also have the option to set the hours your business is open. If your phone is answered after hours, we suggest choosing the always open option. If not, you can choose the open on selected hours option, and you'll be able to put in hours for each day of the week. For price range, we suggest choosing the single $ or double $ option to signify that your services are offered for a fee and that they're not free. The number of $, which ranges from 1 to 4, is supposed to denote low to high cost, but we think it's better to let people know that there is a cost and not necessarily whether it's low or high. So that's why we're suggesting the single or double $. You will want to include also a company email address, meaning an email with the company exchange in it. I'm not sure how visible it is on this slide. It's a little blurry, but they are using contact us at homesweethomeihc.com. So the email that you put in can be a person at the company instead of a general email box, but make sure that it is a company email and not a personal email address. So not amyselly@gmail.com. That would look unprofessional and like maybe it's not connected with the company. So be sure to use a company email address when you set that up. Okay, I need to take a breath. When you select the services template for your Facebook business page, you'll get the opportunity to turn off features of the template that you won't use. So for instance, the services template includes options for offers, shop, events. If you don't promote any offers, which most home care agencies do not, you can turn that tab off. If a shop usually doesn't relate to a home care agency page, so that's usually one that we turn off. Again, if you don't have any videos to share right now, you can turn that section off. We say this because only showing the tabs that you actually use makes the page less cluttered and more accurate. It makes it easier for people to take in. The Our Story section is your biggest opportunity to tell your brand story and help others understand why yours is the best agency. You can also add a photo to the Our Story section, and there's not a character limit, whereas there are character limits in other sections. As with any good writing, hit the most important points first when filling out the Our Story section. And also be thorough in filling out the more info section of your Facebook business page. So in journalism, which was my bachelor's degree after I went on to get a master's in communication studies, you want to lead with the most relevant points about your agency. So if your state requires licensing, include that you're licensed by the state. If you have a Better Business Bureau A+ rating, include that. If you're a Caring Star, include that. Lead with everything that makes you the most desired provider, because that helps the consumer to go on and read other information. It helps them go, okay, this is a licensed agency that is obviously, very well thought of. They've earned these awards. Now I can read more about them. You want to list the services that you offer, and we have started recommending using the advanced messaging feature to list at least 5 FAQs about your agency. One of the things we know about senior care and home care is that sometimes people, so they've waited until there's one foot on the banana peel to seek care, and now they don't even know what questions to ask. It's a stressful situation. So by putting some frequently asked questions and their answers in that advanced messaging feature, when they see the messaging feature on your business page, they can click on one of those FAQs and the answer will pop right up. And it just kind of helps the consumer through the process. So it's a nice way to proceed. Okay, and we can proceed to the next slide. Okay, so this is the consumer view of the Home Sweet Home About section. On the last slide, again, we were looking at the admin view that that you would work in to fill out the information. Again, you can see they're hitting the high points first, and frequently the trust mark information like the BBB rating, home care pulse provider of choice, is repeated in several places: the cover image, the story section, the about section. And again, this is because home care agencies need to establish trust and professionalism immediately. Once you've done that, you can showcase the personality of the brand. And again, those tabs on the left that's kind of like the navigation system for your business page. So the same way that your website has a navigation, your business page has a navigation. So somebody can look at your about section, your reviews section, your list of services, etc. Okay. And that is all I have to say on that. I'm going to pass it back to Marissa.
Thank you. Let's talk about reviewing all of your settings. Who is going to be the person or the people on your team who are allowed to post content? So keep in mind that with a Facebook business page, there's no central login for your Facebook page. You can only access it by first logging into a personal Facebook page and then toggling over to that business page, assuming you've been given access to it. So there are a few levels of access that you get to choose from, which are going to allow people on your team to post to your page. The top level with the most access is the admin or administrative level. And you can have multiple people set up with an admin level of access. I do recommend that at least your agency or business owner is one of the people with administrative access. I have just seen too many times that maybe an intern sets up the business page and they're the only person set up as an administrator, and then they leave the company and suddenly nobody has access to the page anymore. And it is really difficult to get ownership of the page if you don't have anyone with administrative access. So having multiple administrators set up is going to relieve that issue. Another role that you can set up is an editor. And this is a great role for employees who create content for the business's Facebook page and manage day-to-day activities. The editor has all of the access of an admin, except they can't assign page roles to new people and they can't manage your settings. One of the things that you can do with Facebook is allow your viewing audience to post directly to your page. Now, we typically recommend keeping that turned off, but if you do decide to turn that feature on, make sure that you set it to require your review and approval before posts go live on your page. And when you go under the page moderation section under your settings, set the profanity feature to strong. What this is going to do is block profanity from being posted to your page. Sometimes that profanity feature is not strong enough to block out, maybe a troller or a disgruntled past employee. So you also have the ability in settings to block certain words. And if you've blocked a word and somebody uses that word in a post or a comment, that comment is automatically going to be hidden from the page. So examples of words you might block could be stupid, horrible, worthless, idiot. You get the idea. Don't forget that you also have the ability that once somebody posts a comment that you want to hide, you can hide it after it has been posted. You just hover over the comment that you want to hide and click Hide Content. Another thing that you can do in settings is add a sign up for your newsletter if you have one. It's a little bit complicated of a process, and it's different depending on which newsletter service you use, like Constant Contact or MailChimp, but it's definitely worth looking into doing. And if you have multiple locations for your business, you might like to use the store's location feature. And I am going to have Hilary talk about that on the next slide. And Hilary might be muted.
Hilary, are you
Okay.
able? There.
Yeah. Hold on just a second. Okay, the store location feature is a great option for your home care business if you have multiple different locations. Facebook allows you to use your main page, which would be in the graphic in the back, to attach store locations, which are viewable and clickable through the Stores tab found within that page navigation that we were talking about earlier. When you add a store location, it creates a fully functioning page that will match your branding automatically. It carries over what's on your main page to that store location page, but you can cater it more towards that location. You were able to update cities you serve, the about section of the page, and you can even have your own admins for that page. Which is also a great way to allow different office managers to manage each of those store locations, depending on where they serve. It kind of goes along with what Amy was talking about earlier about connecting with the community and networking with those professionals in the area. And another nice feature that it has, within the store location, you have the ability to allow any posts made on your main page to automatically post onto each store location page without having to go into each individual page and post it, which is great to be consistent across the board when it comes to your different Facebook pages.
Thank you, Hilary. Let's talk about reviews. With Facebook, you have the option to either have your reviews on or shut them off. If you are not going to monitor your Facebook reviews closely, turn them off. You don't want to have a horrible review up for forever that you don't respond to, or if somebody posts an inappropriate photo along with their post. Yes, Facebook does allow people to post photos with their reviews, so you definitely want to monitor it if you have it turned on. You also need to understand that you cannot preview reviews before they post, like you can with the visitor post to your page. But if you get what you feel is an unfair review, you can submit a request to Facebook to remove it if it contains abusive language or is from a disgruntled past employee, things like that. But much of the time, I hate to say it, Facebook will not remove the reviews. But it doesn't hurt to submit. It's actually very easy to do. If you want to submit a request for Facebook to remove a review, just go to the review, click on the little menu arrow in the top right-hand corner of the review and click Report Post. And then it gives you instructions, very simple from there. But don't be afraid of getting a few negative reviews. People are actually quite accustomed to seeing a stray negative review here and there. Just make sure you sandwich it between a number of glowing reviews. And then it's really okay. So our recommendation is to keep the reviews on if you are going to closely monitor them. And make sure that you respond to both the good reviews and the bad reviews. So how do you respond to a negative review? Well, I would say quickly and professionally. And don't get defensive in your reply. I know it may sometimes be difficult because sometimes people say very unfair things, but demonstrate that you care about the issue and explain your agency's best practice. But this is a big but, be aware of HIPAA guidelines and respond generically. Don't acknowledge that the individual was a patient or client. Don't disclose any information that may be linked to the patient. So you can respond, for example, just by stating that you provide appropriate care, describe your general policies, direct readers to some of your positive reviews without referencing a specific case. And you could even go so far as to explain that HIPAA prevents you from disclosing information, but invite the person who's complaining to contact you offline. And that's an important thing because sometimes people can get combative online, and you want to try and take that offline. The rule of thumb that I always say is if somebody comes back at you more than 2 times, don't respond to them past that second time. You'll tell them that second time that you'd be happy to talk with them offline and then just leave it at that. And try to get more positive reviews. You know, sandwich that negative review in with the positive ones to minimize the impact of the negative review. One other note about Facebook is that it does allow people to just post a star rating without putting a message in there. If they don't write a message or a comment and just give you like a 2-star rating, you cannot combat that. You know, you can't ask Facebook to remove that particular review. And on the next slide, don't forget, you can use Facebook to promote your positive reviews and Caring Stars Awards from caring.com. And here's a few wonderful examples of agencies using graphics that caring.com provides for their Caring Stars Awards. So don't forget about all of the resources available to you there. And start posting. And Amy, I'm going to have you talk about that.
Sure. Okay. So we're going to talk about the best content to post and why it's the best. At least once a week, you should post content that lives on your website. And we're recommending this because you want to drive followers to get to know your business better. You want to lead them to your website because your website is your biggest and best marketing vehicle. Leading them to your website can also enhance search engine optimization, since search engines can see that you get referral website traffic from social media. So the best content from your website to use is a new blog post that is educational in nature and helpful to people facing care needs. So you can see on this slide that San Diego Home Caregivers has written many blogs that meet that criteria. The 3 being showcased on this slide are how to overcome senior fitness hurdles, best exercises for seniors, how geriatric care managers help families. When you post these blogs on social media, you don't post the entire article in the Facebook post. Instead, you write a short 1-sentence description that we call a teaser that says what the blog will be about, and you post it with the blog URL link. The URL link will pull the blog image into your post. The key here is that then, in order to read the entire blog, the reader has to follow that link to your website. Social media, and especially Facebook, is a place where consumers collect and share information. When Facebook users, a large part of whom are your target demographic, see posts like this, they want to read more. The more they see information like this from your brand, the more they start to recognize and remember your agency as a care expert. And the more likely they are to call you when they have a care need or share your information with someone they know who has a care need. We recommend sharing your blogs on all of your social media pages. The pages that we recommend having most are Facebook and LinkedIn, but some of our clients also have Twitter and they share their blogs there too. Okay, so we can go to the next slide. Okay, great. The second type of content that you should share on a business page is helpful and relevant information from other credible sources on aging care. For instance, here's a blog post from the National Council on Aging about helping people stay safe from the coronavirus. We recommend creating for yourself a list of credible sources like NCOA, Daily Caring, AARP, and others that you should monitor to find helpful posts to share on your own business page. Another great thing to post on your business page are reviews, like we talked about with caring.com, or testimonials that you get about your company, even with a link to read more testimonials on your website. You can also post achievements that your company has earned. We talked about the Caring Star Award, Better Business Bureau A+ rating, a Home Care Pulse Award. Some agencies have won local best of awards based on consumer votes. That's something to celebrate and post on your business page. You can also post achievements that your team members have made with their permission, of course. Maybe you have a caregiver who has earned a special certification or has advanced their education in some way. We even have an agency who shares birthday greetings for their employees and employee anniversaries on their Facebook business page. You also can and should share other companies' information on your page. Be a good neighbor. Remember that social networking should mirror how you network in real life. If you would congratulate a referral partner in person about an achievement, and if they've shared that achievement on Facebook, consider congratulating them on your business page. Thank people, especially now companies are using social media to thank first responders, healthcare workers, caregivers, volunteers, and everyone in their community who is working hard to make a difference during this challenging time. Remember, social media is a visual platform, so always include images or video with your posts. The eye is drawn to images, especially those of people and faces. Videos don't need to be professional, but they do need to be informative and positive. If you have a great tip to share about something a family member of an older adult can do to help their loved one, stick to one tip and about 30 to 60 seconds of video. Really important to understand copyright basics when sharing any images that you didn't create yourself. If you didn't take the image, you need to buy the image. We purchase our photos from Getty Images. And always make sure that you use correctly sized images and appropriate images. And I like to recommend that you think about how you want to be portrayed when you're an older adult, and let that be your guide. Okay, you can go to the next slide. Again, always ensure that privacy is respected. Always get permission if you're going to post a photo or information about a caregiver or a client. Remember that Facebook is used as a place for collecting and sharing good information. It's not a place that buying decisions are made, but where relationships are built. Facebook is a place to connect so that people remember you when they are ready to call about a care need. Consider Facebook ads or boosting posts that share useful information and position your agency as a leader in the field. We have found that doing some targeting and boosting these home care agency blog posts on Facebook can be successful for a very modest budget and can help increase your brand awareness as well as the number of followers you have in your target markets.
Are we ready to show them our gift?
I think we are.
All right. On that last slide, there is a bit.ly link. Please write down that link. You can go to it afterwards and download our tip sheet. It has all of the tips that we mentioned in this webinar on there, so it's a great overview. We did give a lot of information today, so if you missed writing something down, this is a great tip sheet to have. I think we're ready for some questions.
All right. Wow, that was really a lot of information. Amy, Marissa, and Hilary, we're so glad that we were able to have you here today. We do have time for some questions, and boy, did we get a lot. Before we jump into those, there's two I wanted to go ahead and answer. That is, yes, we will have the slides and the recording available for participants. We upload the recording to YouTube. The link is also available on our partner blog. We also circulate it to everyone via email. Look for that email tomorrow in your inbox. And the slides and recording will be on our blog by end of week or Monday at the latest. And the other thing I wanted to mention was both Amy and Marissa talked about privacy and responding to reviews and posts on Facebook. We're going to have a webinar in September, specifically dive deep into HIPAA and reviews. So for those of you that were interested in learning more about that, please join us for that as well. And the question we just got was, will the offer be available to individuals who attended this session? Yes, the offer that they showed is available to everyone who attended this session, and we're going to be sending it to those who registered and who weren't able to attend. All right, let me go to there was a lot of questions very specific to the details of managing the Facebook page. So for instance, where do I go to add the call to action button?
That's going to be right. Yeah, it's going to be right underneath of that cover image. You will see Facebook usually just pre-adds like sending a message there. And if you click on the button while you're logged in, it'll give you the options to change the button.
Great, thank you. And then we just got the question again about the recording. The recording of this session will be available afterward. Thank you so much for everyone that loved it so much they want to watch it again. Okay, here's another question about the Facebook page. If you set up certain parts of the Facebook page and you want to go back later and take them down, can you do that?
Yes.
Okay, great. And let's see. How do you know if you have a business page versus a regular page, and what should you do in the Facebook business manager page?
So a personal page will have friends and a business page will have followers. So that's often a great way to tell if it's set up correctly. Look at your business Facebook page, and if you have friends, it's actually set up as an individual page, not a business page.
Okay,
I'm
great.
sorry, and what was the second part of that?
So I see that you answered that question, so it moved it out of the open queue, and you mentioned that the Facebook Business Manager allows you to manage your business page, post, change settings, fill out info. So it basically, the second part of the question was, what should you do in the Facebook Business Manager page? And that was the answer. And then there was another already answered question, in case folks aren't seeing that in the module, which is, are videos discouraged for the cover image? And Amy's answer was no.
No, videos are great. You just want to make sure that the challenge always with images and video is to make sure that the subject is, looks their best, and to make sure that there's not a lot of clutter in the background. You don't want to have garbage, sitting on the chairside table or, whatever it is. Just make sure that the setting looks nice.
Great. And then there was a question about, if there's multiple administrators for a Facebook page, how do those individual administrators access the page?
So first, by logging into your personal page, and then you'll see an upside down triangle to the top right of the page. If you hover over that, then you will be able to get to the business page.
And each administrator will be logging into their own personal pages, not to each other, correct?
Correct.
Yes. So each of the individual administrators will log into Facebook through their individual account, but they will have access to the company page. Okay. Just wanted to make sure that was clear, that they're not logging into each other's individual personal accounts.
Right.
Nope. Nope. There's no way to do that.
Okay, great. Unless they share passwords, which we don't recommend.
Right.
Okay. Here's another question. How do you connect with our potential clients, considering this is a business page?
So the blogs are really the way to connect with potential clients, because your demographic on Facebook is really the same as a home care company's demographic. And so by sharing information that's educational and helpful, you're helping that Facebook user, and you're establishing yourself as an expert on aging care, because if they don't have a care need right now, they're likely to have several friends that do, and they're going to be positively affected by seeing that you are willing to share helpful information and not just selling your services.
Yeah, create shareable content, and that's what those blogs are. I see people share them to their pages all the time.
Great. And then there was another question that was asked and answered about should we post pictures of our caregiver of the month? And if we do we need the caregiver's permission? Thank you, Amy, for answering yes, post pictures of the caregiver of the month, but yes, get their permission. Okay, more open questions here. Should we have both the information and the story filled out, or just the story? And if so, should they mirror each other?
They can mirror each other in the intro, so you always want to lead with what the consumer's going to want to know. And my suggestion is to lead with, if your state requires licensing for your home care agency, lead with that you're a licensed agency. We also recommend sharing your license number and your licensing body on your website page, so you could lead with that too. Lead with any significant awards or trust marks that you have, like the Better Business Bureau. The story section, since it has no character limit, lets you go into more about your mission, your vision, your passion for serving people. So that won't mirror the info section, because the info section has a character limit. So the story section, you can really expand and also include another image there.
Okay, great. Thank you. There was a question about whether or not there's different types of business pages. For instance, is there a way to pay Facebook to have your page have more visibility?
So there are different templates for business pages. We recommend that you use the services template. You can pay Facebook for more visibility through their advertising platform, and we would be happy to do another webinar about that.
Okay, great. And then one agency was asking, if they set up a service page, should they switch it to business, or is there really not a difference? And you kind of answered in the last question, but maybe you could elaborate a little bit.
Yeah, so business pages have different templates. So the overall umbrella category is business page. And beneath that, there's options for services and nonprofits and other types of pages. So you probably have a business page. You just want to make sure that you've chosen the services template.
Great, thank you. We're also getting a question about how often should they post. Is there a standard time frame or method for posting?
It used to be Facebook, you wanted to post lots and lots and lots, but now there's just so many posts that Facebook has changed the algorithm. So even if somebody follows your page, they aren't necessarily going to see everything you post. So make sure that what you post is very good quality and something that people will share, because the more people share or like or comment on that post, the more Facebook will show that post to people.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And we're almost out of time. So if we didn't get to your question, or Amy wasn't able to answer it in the Q&A module, we'll follow up with you afterward. We really appreciate all of the questions we got. We have a few more pieces of information we need to cover in just a couple more minutes to finish on time. Before we close, we want to make sure you know how to reach CoreCube. They've clearly demonstrated their expertise in this area and others. For those of you who have been to our prior webinars, we always get great feedback about the content CoreCube shares. Here's how to reach them so they can help your agency with its online marketing. And we're going to prompt you right after the session, take a survey, tell us how it was, and we're going to ask you to opt in for us to share your contact information with them. So if you want to get in touch with them, capture this information here, look for it in the post-session email, and let us know you'd like to be contacted by CoreCube. Caring.com is also here to help you with your presence on our website and answer any questions you have. And I also welcome your suggestions for webinars. I really appreciate everyone taking time to attend our session today. I want to thank our presenters, all three excellent experts in this area. Amy, Marissa, Hilary, is there any final words on the topic you wanted to say before I close us out?
I don't have anything else to add.
Okay.
Please feel free to reach out to us if you have further questions.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And we'll definitely send that offer information in the post-session email. We want your feedback on this session. Please don't be shy. Please definitely take the survey. And we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much. And goodbye for now.